and LIB for standing with us on this proposed legislation. We believe the PROPS program is a huge asset to students and families across the state, and we will continue to working with our partners to maximize its intent and purpose. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Joe Rollo. I'm the Commissioner of Higher Ed, and I've been here now for three months. It's been quite an adventure, I can say that. But this is such an important announcement for Louisiana higher education. I'm pleased to be here to represent the system presidents at this event. Thanks to Senators Donahue and Appel for sponsoring the legislation, Mrs. Taylor for your vision and passion on behalf of the students of Louisiana, Dr. Collier for your leadership. Thanks also to our business leaders for joining with us to recognize the partnership between business and higher education in defining the future vitality of our state. And since 1989, this scholarship program has directed state-funded merit-based awards to students, many of whom who would not have had this opportunity for advanced education without this significant level of support. But as importantly, TOPS also underscores 4 key components of higher education for our state. Access, students can see a path to participate in higher education. Affordability, students and families do not see cost as an insurmountable barrier to their dreams. Retention, the level of support means a student can focus on his or her studies and stay in school. And finally, graduation. As the Taylor Foundation webpage notes, college graduation and not simply enrollment is the purpose of the program. These are significant outcomes for our students and for our state, and on behalf of the system presidents, I extend our deepest thanks for this legislation, which ensures the continuation of this exceptional program into the future. Thank you.
First of all, let me thank Senators Donahue and Appel for their drafting of this legislation under the guidance of Mrs. Phyllis Taylor and Dr. Kaye. As Director of the Student Financial Assistance Commission, who has the extreme privilege of running the TOPS program, we are grateful for all of the support that the senators have given us, the Taylor Foundation, as well as the legislature over the years. Their support helps students in Louisiana each and every day. It helps them to strive to receive the TOPS award, because we know that every dollar a student receives in gift aid is a dollar that the student does not take out in loan debt, and that contributes to our future. We are proud to be representing the Louisiana Student Financial Assistance Commission, which is the commission that oversees the TOPS program. We're also very proud that in the years that we have administered TOPS, this is one of the best run programs in the state of Louisiana, and we feel that we have been exceptional stewards of the state's money and of the future of the citizens of the state. When we look at the numbers that tell us how we've been doing, there's an unduplicated count of students since the program's inception that this program has helped over 277,476 students and put over $2.2 billion in the hands of students and families, which again is $2.2 billion that were not incurred in loans. Who are those students? Those students have an average ACT for OPH students of 24, an average GPA of 3.37 for TOPS Tech students. They have an average ACT of 18 and an average GPA of 2.87. When you compare that to the students that did not quite meet the mark for gaining TOPS, those students were determined ineligible for TOPS, even their GPAs are an average of 2.19 and their average ACT is a 17. So all of the remarks that have led up to this have demonstrated that this program is incenting students and families to strive for excellence, and we are thankful to all of you for the opportunity to continue to administer it on behalf of the students and families who thank you in the state of Louisiana.
Hello, my name is Stephen Wagasback, President of the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. TOPS is an iconic program in Louisiana, and it's a reason that it's that way is because of the impact it makes in our schools, the impact it makes in middle-class families all across this state. It's that reason because of the hard work of Pat Taylor early on, and obviously Mrs. Taylor has carried this on. Dr. Kaye through a number of years. There's individual efforts each year that have not only protected this program, but have grown it and evolved it over time. And so it's well understood in this state how important it is to higher education and middle-class families. A lot of times in the Capitol, I think there's this misperception that every issue is black or white, and there's either one way or another way. And I think the approach that Mrs. Taylor and Dr. Collier have come up with and have worked with Chairman Donahue and Chairman Appel on goes right at that stereotype. And quite frankly, we can have our cake and eat it too. This proposal protects TOPS, protects the promise it gives to the students in Louisiana, but it also provides some cost control mechanisms for the legislature and stakeholders to have along the way as we evolve as a state, as a budget. And that is something that is a new concept, and we can have our cake and eat it too, and I think it's a fantastic approach, and we're proud to support that. Our higher education system is a partner for the business community. They provide the workers and the job seekers of tomorrow. As we grow our economy, as we have all these new jobs coming in, it is critical that we have a workforce training pipeline that is an asset as we grow our economy. That comes in the 4-year schools, the 2-year schools, the private training programs. And I think what you've seen over the last couple of years is the collaboration between business and higher ed reach an all-time high level. You know, Roy Martin mentioned the WISE Fund. I think that is only a template for future growth of partnerships. You've seen it at each level of institution that when industry and higher ed works together, more high-level training comes out, more involved classroom curriculum comes out, private investment comes out of that relationship. That is a template that will go forward. The last thing I would like to say about this approach of this bill today, and again I commend Chairman Donahue and Chairman Appel for pushing this, is it also, in my opinion, takes away one of the final excuses that have been given over the years for why we can't arm higher education to go out and compete in the market and be aggressive competitors with the school they compete with. You know, we go around the country and we recruit and hire these great leaders of higher education. We bring them here, and the first thing we do is explain to them why we don't give them the autonomy over things like tuition and procurement and insurance and long distance and all kind of host of other reasons. And quite frankly, I think it's time that we bring these great leaders in and give them the tools to compete. If we really want them to go and compete with other schools around the South, around the country, then they need to have the autonomy to go out in that market, listen to their student population, listen to their local industry, and find ways to develop and compete upon that. This is one component of a multi-step plan that will allow them to do it. And so I am very appreciative and a lot of admiration for the approach driven here today, and we look forward to being helpful throughout this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. How about a round of applause for all of our partners who are here today? Thank you.
Well, essentially what the bill does is it takes the TOPS stipend for each university has a different tuition, so it takes that tuition and it sets that tuition as what it's going to pay, and it's the same thing it'll pay next year and the following year with no changes unless the legislature decides to increase that amount, which the legislature can do. So if in the meantime, once that is established at the current rate, if the system decides to change its tuition, well, the stipend for TOPS remains the same. It doesn't increase with tuition.
So this would be a cost control measure?
Yes.
I'm very proud and pleased to have this response. If you go back in the history of the TOPS program, you'll see it's been a very, very long time since we've had this kind of support for any aspect of a modification on the TOPS program. So to the students of Louisiana, have your voice heard, speak to your member of the legislature, and let them know that you want the program to continue.